you for joining us on This Is Exclusive. It's 6 p.m. I'm Niranjan and we're getting you some exclusive stories, exclusive inputs on the show this evening. Our focus on three stories this evening. On Rahul Gandhi's very secret White House visit. And then we have the Aurngazeb fans in Kolhapur. And we have some exclusive details also on the murder, the Shraddha rerun just outside of Mumbai. Three stories on the show. Here are the headlines.
ऐसे है जो ये ट्रेंड या नैरेटिव सेट करना चाहते हैं, उसके भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन हम करेंगे कि ये आईडीज़ किसे बिलोंग करते हैं, ये कब क्रिएट किए गए और कौन से मोबाइल नंबर इससे एसोसिएटेड है। साइबर सेल इसकी जांच करेगा।
Role of minors now emerging in the Kolhapur violence in Maharashtra. Police telling Republic that the conspiracy angle is not ruled out. Exact rerun of the Shraddha murder in Thane, Maharashtra. Woman murdered, her body parts chopped, cooked. Accused live-in partner is arrested. Karnataka minister's admission is on tape. This Congress minister says freebies gets us votes. It's a cheap popularity tactic. Days after Indira Gandhi assassination, tableau is flaunted in Brampton. Government hits out at Canada. Children on a school trip stabbed in France. Reports suggest at least 8 children are seriously injured. Reports suggest the French attacker is identified as a Syrian asylum seeker. His name is Abdul Masi. He is currently in custody. Starting this edition of This Is Exclusive with the big secret. It appears to be a big secret because the Congress party won't talk about it. The US has officially not issued a statement. It hasn't spoken about it. It is not giving out more details. But as per reports, some reports suggesting that during his visit to the United States of America, Rahul Gandhi went to the White House and met a mid-level White House official called Donald Lu at the White House. Now, it's not unusual for the opposition leaders to meet White House officials, but secrecy around this alleged meeting or reported meeting has raised questions. My colleague Abhishek is joining us live. Abhishek, why is nobody talking about it? The US is not issuing any statement. They're not saying much. Congress party itself silent. What do you think is the reason, Abhishek, that everyone's quiet on this meeting?
Well, let's begin with the government of India, Niranjan. Obviously, yes. Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to be in the United States for a state visit as a special invitee of the President of the United States, Joe Biden. And he happens to be first Prime Minister in more than a decade to be getting that honor and first Indian leader to be addressing the US Congress, a joint session of the US Congress. So obviously US Capitol. So obviously the government of India would not want to sort of disturb the momentum going ahead. That's why perhaps the government has decided, the Ministry of External Affairs has decided not to sort of pick it up. For the Congress party, obviously the fact that they have been panning Prime Minister Modi's visits abroad, so sort of they would also want to keep mum. But the fact of the matter is, it seems likely, Niranjan, that there is a section within the larger democratic establishment, in the Democrat establishment in the United States, which sort of still wants to engage with the opposition, and hence Rahul Gandhi was invited, and a senior official of the White House met, as per reports that have come out. Essentially, Niranjan, it seems that Rahul Gandhi, despite not having an official passport, not even being a member of parliament, obviously not the Congress president or the leader of the Congress party, still is seen as someone who is going to play a key role in the opposition. And perhaps, as I mentioned, that section of the Democrat establishment in DC in White House really wanted to engage with him, and him being in Washington DC as part of his larger US tour perhaps led to one thing leading to another, and ultimately the meeting happening. So I think it ends at that. But then the question is, because the Congress party, which questions Prime Minister's outreach to the Indian diaspora whenever he travels, now engages with the diaspora, like we saw Rahul Gandhi doing it in the case of Europe last month and in the United States now. Though it's another matter that most of these events organized for Rahul Gandhi across the United States from the west coast to the east coast were essentially had dominant role being played by those sections of or those organizations which as much as having Indian membership, they had even Pakistani membership. So we don't know whether what exact purpose was served by addressing that constituency, because if at all Mr. Rahul Gandhi has to contest from anywhere in India, but not obviously in Pakistan. So that's an important aspect for the Congress party to be engaging with the diaspora and panning the Prime Minister to be doing so again. And of course, the fact that a certain section within the Democrat establishment wanted to engage with Rahul Gandhi, and that's why perhaps this meeting happened in the White House.
Abhishek, now, you were there when S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, was addressing the news conference this morning. Specifically, if I'm not wrong, a few questions were asked on this issue. He did touch upon it. He didn't say much, but what was his message? What was his response when asked the question on the secrecy, especially surrounding this visit?
Well, obviously, so the diplomat in Dr. S. Jaishankar really took over with that question. So he said, though he panned Rahul Gandhi for raising issues of internal governance and issues of democracy outside of India, he said that it does not look good and that it does not really dignify those people who raise these issues abroad, but that home politics should remain within the confines of our borders. But on this particular question of Rahul Gandhi having an audience in the White House with whatever level of officials, he sort of deflected the question, Niranjan. He said that, why are you asking me? Ask them. He did not clarify by them he meant the United States or Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party. And then he said that the full facts are not there with them, but then the question should be directed to those who had the meeting or who organized the meeting. Obviously, as I said, Niranjan, because the government does not want and the Ministry of External Affairs would not want to in any manner disturb the momentum going ahead as a build-up to Prime Minister Modi's state visit that pans out in the third week of this month.
Okay, now my final question, Abhishek. See, some questions are being also asked about the person that he met. I believe it's a White House official. His name is Donald Lu. Last in the news, specifically as far as the Asian subcontinent is concerned, the South Asian subcontinent in Pakistan, Imran Khan specifically named him. And he said, of course, you can't take Imran Khan seriously, but Imran Khan named him and said that he's the one who could be behind the possible regime change plan, etc., vis-a-vis Pakistan. Now, he certainly seems to be a very interesting individual, official in the White House.
Well, yes, Niranjan. So, as I was mentioning, I'll pick up from there. As I said, there is a section within the Democrats, the Democratic Party establishment in the US, which still sort of has certain hesitations when it comes to our Prime Minister. And maybe that segment within the Democrats had a role to play in organizing this meeting. As I said, even if the government has not liked it, they would not say anything at this stage, because Prime Minister's most important visit of this year in terms of India's diplomatic status outside is concerned is panning out. And we have had another White House official, by the way, just 2 days back, Niranjan, Kurt Campbell, who's the advisor on Indo-Pacific in the White House, a senior national security secretariat official there in the White House. He said that India and the US partnership is looking at an escape velocity moment in Prime Minister Modi's state visit later this month. So obviously, while there is a broad understanding in DC about India's significance in the larger scheme of things going ahead, there is still an ideological grouping within the Democrat Party, which perhaps still sees some hope within in the Congress Party or wants to engage with the Congress Party. If you look at it, otherwise, whenever a foreign dignitary comes in, there is this custom, a democratic custom of they meeting the government official, government side, the treasury side, the prime minister, the external affairs minister, and also the leader of opposition. The only catch here is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is neither the leader of opposition nor the leader of the opposition party, and not even a member of parliament. So that really leaves a certain doubt. A question arises as to in what capacity did the White House really engage with Mr. Gandhi. But then this answer obviously has to come either from the Congress Party or somebody in the White House if the question is asked of them.
Abhishek, thank you for now for getting us your insights into this story. Now, the fact is the US is silent. The Congress Party, for some reason, has not spoken about it. How many secret meetings has Rahul Gandhi had with different dignitaries, diplomats / ministers of other countries? Now, there is a precedence to it. It's happened before. And there are certainly some questions that remain on this meeting as well. Let's move on and get you some more stories we are tracking here on Republic TV. Since the last 24 to 36 hours, tension gripping Maharashtra's Kolhapur after a few youth allegedly posted objectionable posts on social media with a reference to Aurangazeb. And soon after, protests broke out, a violent situation being witnessed, Section 144 in place in Kolhapur. Now, that's what happened. That was a trigger. Aurangazeb posts or Aurangazeb fans are creating a law and order situation in Kolhapur. Now, we're also getting in some more details here on Republic TV. We've picked up more details of perhaps a conspiracy, perhaps a larger Aurangazeb toolkit, and how even minors may have been used to instigate violence in this case. Here's the story so far.
Days after Aurangazeb was glorified on social media, protests were held in Kolhapur's Chhatrapati Shivaji Chowk. Soon it turned violent. On ground, cops are not ruling out a large conspiracy.
उनके मोबाइल का एनालिसिस जब होगा, फॉरेंसिक एनालिसिस, उनके कॉन्टैक्ट लिस्ट में कौन लोग हैं, किस सोशल मीडिया अकाउंट से वो जुड़े हुए हैं, ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन में आएगा। पिछले 4-5 महीनों में जो मामले सामने आए हैं उसमें तो जो ऑब्जेक्शनेबल चीज़ें हैं उसके ऊपर लीगल एक्शन तो चल रही है। इसके बाद अगर कोई सोशल मीडिया पे अगर ऑब्जेक्शनेबल शेयरिंग पोस्ट हो रही है बेसिकली, तो उसके लिए साइबर सेल मॉनिटर कर रहा है।
According to sources on ground, the conspirators may have used minors to provoke.
If you go through with the Instagram, you will see Aurangazeb and Tipu Sultan trending on social media. So definitely, why is it happening right now? And who are the people who are doing this? So police is investigating in depth into this matter, and in fact they feel that there could be a larger picture to this. There could be a possibility that some extremist ideologist people could be behind this and could be brainwashing them, and in fact for the same reason sharing such kind of social media posts.
As situation remains tense, there is massive security deployment.
We are at the spot in Kolhapur wherein massive protests had taken place, and in fact after the protest the stone pelting also took place on the streets of Kolhapur. As you see in the visuals, heavy police deployment has been done out here at the Bindu Chowk in Kolhapur. You see the visuals out here from the streets of Kolhapur as there were several people who got injuries as stone pelting took place. And
some say a Pakistan angle must also be probed.
और इसके पीछे पाकिस्तान का हाथ हो सकता है, इसीलिए उस एंगल से भी मतलब सरकार ने इंक्वायरी करनी चाहिए, और पाकिस्तान भी बीच में इसी तरह का मतलब रवैया अपनाता है, इसीलिए इसकी पूरी जांच होनी चाहिए।
So far, 36 people have been arrested for violence. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Getting in some breaking news now that a high-level meeting is currently underway over the Kolhapur violence. ADG Law and Order and the Inspector General there, Kolhapur SP, are present in the meeting. Top officers taking a review, taking stock of the situation as they probe further the conspiracy angle. Let me go across also to my colleague Sandeep, who's been tracking the story. Sandeep, we understand that minors were used. It was a carefully planned push out of this campaign where they used minors to spread the social media posts. Is that correct?
Yes, as far as this case is concerned, remember, at this point of time, police is investigating on all the aspects. And as far as the social media status is concerned, there were 5 juveniles that were, in fact, were taken into custody who had, in fact, shared the status of Aurangazeb and Tipu Sultan, and following which they were sent to the children correction room after they were produced in the juvenile court. Now, as far as this conspiracy is concerned, remember, on the day of 6th June, this was the day when the social media post in support of Aurangazeb and Tipu Sultan was, in fact, shared by these juveniles, these minors. And in fact, on the same day, it was the 35th Rajya Abhishek day of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and on the same day there was a mega event across the state of Maharashtra. And in fact, remember, on the same day the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, and Devendra Fadnavis were present there at Raigad Fort for Rajya Abhishek. So the selection of the day of sharing that very status is very crucial. And in fact, apart from that, police is investigating, is there any other mastermind who had in fact influenced these very minors to share these kind of status?
You stay with me, Sandeep, you stay with me. In fact, you sent us a report a short while back. I'd like to play out Sandeep's report from Kolhapur. He's in Kolhapur, so I'll play that out. And we'll tell you how the political fight is ongoing between the Mahavikas Aghadi and the BJP and the Shinde Sena. A war of words on what went wrong in Kolhapur.
6th June, the 350th birth anniversary of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. On the same day, Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, and Deputy Chief Minister were there at the Raigad for the procession in the Raigad Fort. Now, at the same day, it is selected, and on the same day, this kind of post was shared. So definitely police is suspecting that there could be a larger conspiracy to this, there could be a larger picture to this, as the juveniles, the minors that have been in fact used in this case, who had in fact shared the kind of status and in fact objectionable post has been shared by them. They might have been used by someone. There could be another mastermind in this case who might have used these kids to share this kind of status and to disturb the law and order in the district of Kolhapur. Now, police is investigating who is the exact, who is the person who might have brainwashed them, who might have in fact told them to share this kind of post. And in fact, if you go through with the Instagram, you will see Aurangazeb and Tipu Sultan trending on social media. So definitely, why is it happening right now? And who are the people who are doing this? So police is investigating in depth into this matter, and in fact they feel that there could be a larger picture to this. There could be a possibility that some extremist ideologist people could be behind this and could be brainwashing them. And in fact, for the same reason, this sharing such kind of social media posts led to the violence in Kolhapur. And not only Kolhapur, remember, in the past also such kind of WhatsApp status has been shared on social.
And here's how the political fight is unfolding. The Union Minister has said that a Pakistan angle should be probed.
और इसके पीछे पाकिस्तान का हाथ हो सकता है, इसीलिए उस एंगल से भी मतलब सरकार ने इंक्वायरी करनी चाहिए। और पाकिस्तान भी बीच बीच में इसी तरह का मतलब रवैया अपनाता है, तो इसीलिए इसकी पूरी जांच होनी चाहिए। और मुस्लिम समाज ने औरंगजेब का फोटो लाकर एक समाज को भड़काने की कोशिश करना अच्छी बात नहीं है। तो इसीलिए इसकी पूरी जांच होनी चाहिए और जो दोषी हैं उनके ऊपर कठोर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
ये तो चीजें अनफॉर्चुनेटली कुछ लोगों ने पैदा की है, ये समाज के लिए ठीक नहीं। सभी वर्ग की हितों की रक्षा करनी हो तो इसलिए वो ठीक नहीं। आज जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है इसका जो रेपुटेशन है इसके लिए खुश नहीं, और जो आम जनता उसकी कीमत इन लोगों को देनी पड़ती है। ये आम जनता को बचाने के लिए ये जो कुछ हो रहा है ये ख़त्म बंद करना चाहिए। लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की मशीनरी जो कदम उठाई गई है उसको योगदान देनी चाहिए, और शांति कैसे फ़ायदा होगी इस पर ध्यान देने की आज आवश्यकता है। इसमें राजनीति आज लाने की आवश्यकता नहीं, बाद में जांच होगी तब सच्चाई क्या है वो सबके सामने आएगी।
6 years of this journey at Republic has been spectacular, and now that you're going digital, I'm sure you will disrupt this industry and become the front runner in all things digital news in India. I wish Republic the best of luck, and I'm sure you guys will kill it here.
Taking a short break, getting details and that very controversial response coming in from Karnataka, a minister who says freebies gets them votes and they love it, and he calls it cheap popularity that his party, the Congress, resorted to in Karnataka. How, why and where the accident happened? We are at the tracks. All the bogies that derailed have been cleared here. This is the loop line, and this is where the goods train was parked on the other side. And the train which was supposed to pass through the main line went into the loop line, and that's what the railway minister is saying, that the point system was changed. Electronic interlocking, that is the reason why this happened. Criminal activity perhaps for the first time since this has happened. So he goes into details of the point machine and the settings of the point machine that was perhaps changed, and that they're looking into who did it, why they did it, and when it was done. And that's the focus. kilometers per hour. When he gets a green signal, he continues to maintain that train at 128 kilometers per hour. But you see how these two lines meet. The loop line meets at that intersection. So instead of coming straight, the signal was green, but the system interlocking went wrong, which means at 138 kilometers per hour, instead of coming straight, he was diverted to that line in which there was already a goods train with iron ore. The focus of that investigation is right now where I am, and that's the station master's room, there where the investigation continues.
What we've essentially tried to do here is get you a sense of how this entire system basically operates, right from this particular machine that we showed you with regards to whether the train is online, the line has been closed, or the line has been cleared or not. There are multiple questions that one will have to answer right now in terms of whether at all there has been some sort of a system failure, whether at all there have been some changes that have been made. But if you've heard it from the officers here who've been handling this, they say that it's almost next to impossible that when there is already a train that is there on one line, changing it and bringing the other train to the same very track is extremely difficult.
How, why and where the accident happened? We are at the tracks. All the bogies that derailed have been cleared here. This is the loop line, and this is where the goods train was parked on the other side. And the train which was supposed to pass through the main line went into the loop line, and that's what the railway minister is saying, that the point system was changed. Electronic interlocking, that is the reason why this happened. Criminal activity perhaps for the first time since this has happened. So he goes into details of the point machine and the settings of the point machine that was perhaps changed, and that they're looking into who did it, why they did it, and when it was done. And that's the focus. 128 kilometers per hour. When he gets a green signal, he continues to maintain that train at 128 kilometers per hour. But you see how these two lines meet. The loop line meets at that intersection. So instead of coming straight, the signal was green, but the system interlocking went wrong, which means at 138 kilometers per hour, instead of coming straight, he was diverted to that line in which there was already a goods train with iron ore. The focus of that investigation is right now where I am, and that's the station master's room, there where the investigation continues.
What we've essentially tried to do here is get you a sense of how this entire system basically operates, right from this particular machine that we showed you with regards to whether the train is online, the line has been closed, or the line has been cleared or not. There are multiple questions that one will have to answer right now in terms of whether at all there has been some sort of a system failure, whether at all there have been some changes that have been made. But if you've heard it from the officers here who've been handling this, they say that it's almost next to impossible that when there is already a train that is there on one line, changing it and bringing the other train to the same very track is extremely difficult.
How, why and where the accident happened? We are at the tracks. All the bogies that derailed have been cleared here. This is the loop line, and this is where the goods train was parked. In fact, we're getting in some breaking news now that the Canadian government has responded to the story of Indian students who were trapped. That's a breaking news update that we have, that Justin Trudeau has said they will evaluate each case. This is on the students who are trapped there. Over 700 students cheated in Canada, and they face deportation now. And Justin Trudeau has just responded to that, saying that they will evaluate each case. So an intervention by the Canadian government. That's the breaking news update that's now coming in here on Republic TV. The story that was reported by Republic, as over 700 students from India faced a deportation risk in Canada, and they said that their lives were at stake. And India had also called for action, saying that it was completely unfair. In fact, S. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, this morning said that it's unfair on the part of the Canadian authorities to punish students who undertook education in good faith. Jaishankar saying that he believed that the Canadians would also accept that it would be unfair to punish a student if he or she had done nothing wrong. So a response coming in from the Canadian government as the Indian government ramps up the pressure. As many as 700 Indian students, especially from Punjab, who are in Canada and received deportation letters from the Canadian Border Security Agency in May this year after their admission offers to educational institutions were found to be fake. So that's the breaking news update coming in. We'll take a short break now. That's the quick breaking news update we had. We'll take a break, we'll come back and keep a check on the story.
Amity School of Communication has been ranked among India's top 5 mass comm institutes for the last 3 years by India Today, a testimony to its most high-tech studios, senior professionals as faculty and placements in leading media organizations. To apply, visit amity.edu.
128 kilometers per hour. When he gets a green signal, he continues to maintain that train at 128 kilometers per hour. But you see how these two lines meet. The loop line meets at that intersection. So instead of coming straight, the signal was green, but the system interlocking went wrong, which means at 138 kilometers per hour, instead of coming straight, he was diverted to that line in which there was already a goods train with iron ore. The focus of that investigation is right now where I am, and that's the station master's room, there where the investigation continues.
What we've essentially tried to do here is get you a sense of how this entire system basically operates, right from this particular machine that we showed you with regards to whether the train is online, the line has been closed or the line has been cleared or not. There are multiple questions that one will have to answer right now in terms of whether at all there has been some sort of a system failure, whether at all there have been some changes that have been made. But if you've heard it from the officers here who've been handling this, they say that it's almost next to impossible that when there is already a train that is there on one line, changing it and bringing the other train to the same very track is extremely difficult.
How, why and where the accident happened? We are at the tracks. All the bogies that derailed have been cleared here. This is the loop line and this is where the goods train was parked on the other side. And the train which was supposed to pass through the main line went into the loop line, and that's what the railway minister is saying, that the point system was changed. Electronic interlocking, that is the reason why this happened. Criminal activity perhaps for the first time since this has happened. So he goes into details of the point machine and the settings of the point machine that was perhaps changed, and that they're looking into who did it, why they did it and when it was done. And that's the focus. km/h. When he gets a green signal, he continues to maintain that train at 128 km/h. But you see how these two lines meet. The loop line meets at that intersection. So instead of coming straight, the signal was green, but the system Republic #1 on TV, now soon on digital this July.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand. India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Welcome back. Questions being raised over Rahul's secret meeting with a mid-level White House official. Role of minors emerges in Kolhapur. Police tell Republic conspiracy not being ruled out. Woman murdered and chopped, body parts cooked, accused live-in partner arrested in Mumbai. Days after Indira Gandhi assassination tableau in Brampton, the government hits out at Canada. Children on school trips stabbed in Annecy, France. Reports suggest at least 6 injured. The accused, the assailant, arrested. All right, in a rerun of the Shraddha Walker episode that happened in Delhi, a horrific reminder of that case coming in from Mumbai now. A 56-year-old man in Mumbai brutally murdered his live-in partner and chopped up her body into pieces to dispose them off. The man was caught after a neighbor noticed a foul smell wafting from the couple's flat and